What Really Happened to Sally Field, Star and Sybil. Sally Field was born Sally Margaret Field on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California, into a family deeply connected to the world of Hollywood. Her mother, Margaret Field, was an actress while her father, Richard Dryden Field, worked as an Army officer. After her parents divorced, Field's mother remarried Jock Mahoney, a stuntman and actor. Growing up in the shadow of Hollywood provided Sally with early exposure to the entertainment industry. However, her journey into acting was not immediate or smooth. In her formative years, she faced personal challenges, including a difficult relationship with her stepfather. Despite these hardships, she persevered and nurtured a passion for performance. Field's first big break came in the 1960s when she was cast in the lead role of the television series Gidget, 1965–1966. Although the series was short-lived, Field's portrayal of the bubbly, surfing teenager made a lasting impression. Following this, she landed another iconic role as Sister Bertrill in The Flying Nun, 1967–1970. A lighthearted sitcom about a nun who could fly due to the aerodynamic properties of her habit. While the show was a commercial success, Field grew frustrated with being typecast as a cute and wholesome girl-next-door character. Her desire to break free from this image set the stage for the significant shift in her career. Determined to escape the limitations imposed by her early roles, Field began studying acting with renowned coach Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio. It was during this time that she took on more challenging and complex roles, transitioning from television to the big screen. Her breakout dramatic performance came in the 1976 television film Sybil, where she portrayed a woman suffering from dissociative identity disorder. This emotionally intense role demonstrated her range as an actress and earned her an Emmy Award, catapulting her to critical acclaim. Field's determination to defy typecasting paid off further when she starred in Norma Rae, 1979, a film about a Southern mill worker who becomes a union organizer. The role earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress and solidified her status as a serious and respected actress in Hollywood. Field's portrayal of Norma Rae was both a triumph of social justice and a personal victory, as she proved she could embody strong, multidimensional characters. In the 1980s and 1990s, Field continued to take on diverse roles, displaying an incredible range that set her apart in the industry. She starred opposite Burt Reynolds in a series of successful films, including Smokey and the Bandit, 1977, and Hooper, 1978, showcasing her talent for comedy and her on-screen chemistry with Reynolds. However, her dramatic work remained the cornerstone of her career. In 1984, Field won her second Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Places in the Heart, 1984. A story about a widow struggling to keep her farm during the Great Depression. Her heartfelt acceptance speech, where she famously declared, "You like me, right now, you like me," became one of the most memorable moments in Oscar history. Field's versatility extended beyond acting, as she made her directorial debut with The Christmas Tree in 1996 and later directed the critically acclaimed television film Beautiful, 2000. Her forays into directing further demonstrated her multifaceted talent and desire to expand her creative horizons. As Sally Field entered the later stages of her career, she continued to take on roles that challenged her and demonstrated her enduring appeal. In 1993, she played the lovable mother in Mrs. Doubtfire alongside Robin Williams, a role that endeared her to a new generation of fans. Later, she portrayed Mary Todd Lincoln in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln, 2012, a role that earned her another Academy Award nomination. Her portrayal of the First Lady was praised for its depth and complexity, highlighting Field's ongoing commitment to nuanced, character-driven performances. Sally Field's personal life has been marked by both triumphs and struggles. She has been married twice, first to Stephen Craig, with whom she had 2 sons, and later to producer Alan Greisman, with whom she had a 3rd son. Though both marriages ended in divorce, Field has remained close to her children and has spoken openly about the challenges of balancing motherhood with a demanding career in Hollywood. She has also been candid about her struggles with self-esteem and body image, particularly during the early years of her career when she was often typecast in roles that did not reflect her true depth and intelligence. In 2018, Field published her memoir, In Pieces, which detailed her difficult relationship with her stepfather, her struggles with sexual abuse, and her battles with depression. The memoir was widely praised for its raw honesty and vulnerability, further endearing her to fans who admired her resilience and strength. Throughout her illustrious career, Sally Field has garnered numerous awards and accolades, cementing her place as one of the most talented and respected actresses in Hollywood. In addition to her 2 Academy Awards and multiple Emmy Awards, she has been honored with the Kennedy Center Honors in 2019, recognizing her contribution to American culture through the performing arts. Her inclusion in the American Theater Hall of Fame further highlights the breadth of her achievements, not only in film and television but also on stage. Sally Field is a beloved actress known for her versatility and depth, with a career that has spanned decades. One of her most memorable roles was in the film Sybil, 1976, where she delivered a gripping performance that earned her widespread acclaim. The movie showcased Field's acting prowess as she portrayed a woman with dissociative identity disorder, a role that won her critical praise and several prestigious awards. However, behind the scenes of her impressive professional life, Field faced personal struggles, particularly in her romantic life, one of the most significant being her tumultuous relationship with fellow Hollywood star Burt Reynolds. The relationship between Sally Field and Burt Reynolds was a passionate one that captured the public's attention in the late 1970s and early 1980s. They first met on the set of Smokey and the Bandit in 1977, where their on-screen chemistry was undeniable. Off-screen, that chemistry translated into a real-life romance. Despite their palpable connection, the relationship was far from perfect. Field, a grounded and introspective person, often struggled with Reynolds' larger-than-life persona and his own insecurities. Still, they were together for nearly 5 years, and during that time, their relationship was seen as one of Hollywood's most glamorous, yet complex, love stories. One of the most significant strains on their relationship came from Reynolds' desire for control, both in his personal and professional life. By his own admission in later years, he was not emotionally equipped to handle the kind of relationship that Field needed. Reynolds was known for his rugged charm, wit, and bravado, but beneath that exterior was a man struggling with his own insecurities and need for validation. While Sally Field was more private and introspective, focused on honing her craft and seeking meaningful connections, Reynolds often found himself in the spotlight, a dynamic that ultimately clashed with Field's temperament. Perhaps the most painful aspect of their relationship came when Reynolds' infatuation with actress Lonnie Anderson grew. Reynolds and Anderson's relationship became the talk of Hollywood, particularly as it culminated in marriage in 1988. For Field, this marked a devastating blow. Reynolds' public pursuit of Anderson while still maintaining connections with Field left the actress feeling betrayed and heartbroken. Anderson, a glamorous star known for her role in WKRP in Cincinnati, represented the kind of Hollywood glamour that was at odds with Field's more modest and grounded persona. When Reynolds and Anderson eventually married, it was clear that the chapter between Field and Reynolds had officially closed. The heartbreak Field endured from this relationship became a formative part of her life, though she seldom spoke publicly about the depths of her emotional pain. It was only later, through Reynolds' admissions, that the true nature of their breakup and his regret became more widely known. In later years, Burt Reynolds publicly admitted that losing Sally Field was the greatest mistake of his life. He would frequently reflect on their relationship in interviews, expressing deep remorse for how he treated her and how things ended between them. "I was an idiot," Reynolds said in a 2015 interview, lamenting the way he had let her go. "I loved her. I really did. She was the love of my life, and I blew it." These confessions painted a picture of a man who, in his later years, came to terms with the emotional devastation he had caused. In numerous interviews, Reynolds expressed a heartfelt regret for having pursued Lonnie Anderson and ultimately marrying her, a marriage that would end in a bitter and highly publicized divorce in 1993. He described his marriage to Anderson as a major misstep, one that he viewed as a consequence of his poor decisions, driven by ego rather than genuine emotional connection. In contrast, Reynolds spoke of his relationship with Sally Field as one filled with deep love and admiration, emotions that he failed to fully realize or appreciate at the time. During one particularly poignant interview, Reynolds admitted that if he had been more emotionally mature and self-aware, he might have been the kind of man that Sally Field needed. He expressed a profound sorrow that he hadn't been able to be more vulnerable with her or more supportive of her needs. "She deserved better than me," he said candidly. Despite his rugged Hollywood image, Reynolds' reflections on Sally Field revealed a man deeply wounded by his own choices. Though Burt Reynolds frequently expressed his regret in interviews, Sally Field rarely spoke about the relationship in detail. Field, ever the private individual, chose to remain mostly silent about the specifics of their breakup, focusing instead on her personal growth and career. In her memoir In Pieces, published in 2018, she provided some insight into the relationship, describing Reynolds as controlling and someone who needed her in a way that was suffocating. She explained that their relationship was tumultuous and unhealthy for her in the long run, despite the intense love that had once existed. For Field, the end of the relationship marked a turning point in her life. It was a painful chapter, but one that ultimately allowed her to rediscover herself and focus on her own needs and aspirations. Field continued to have an illustrious career, winning 2 Academy Awards for Norma Rae and Places in the Heart, among numerous other accolades. Her resilience in the face of personal turmoil only added to her status as one of Hollywood's most respected and admired figures. Even after their relationship ended and both had moved on with their lives, it became clear that the bond between Sally Field and Burt Reynolds never completely dissolved. In Reynolds' final years, he continued to speak of Field with deep affection, almost as if she remained an unhealed wound in his heart. While Sally Field has largely moved on and built a life filled with success and fulfillment, the shadow of their love story remains one of Hollywood's most poignant what-ifs.